Fantasticos, it's Mrs. Lane here, and we are on page 240 and 241 of your instruction book, if you're in the 2020 version, or if you are in the 2017 version, you're going to be on pages 232 and 233, and today we are finding the area on a coordinate plane. So let's take a look at this question in the TAN. It says, an athletic director is planning to refinish the floor of a rectangular athletic court. So we've got this down here. We've either got a basketball court or a tennis court or something like that. And three corners of the court have the coordinates. So we've got -4, 2, we've got -4, 3, and we've got 8, 2. Now they want to find the coordinates of the fourth corner and the perimeter of the court. Now to find the coordinates of the fourth corner, the thing that we're going to do is we need to extend the horizontal line that's going through -4, -3. So we extend this line, and you can already see by the dashes that they've done that for us. And then we need to extend the vertical line coming through point 82. And when you do that, you find the place where they meet up, and that's going to be the fourth corner of our court. The second part of that question is talking about perimeter. And the way that we find perimeter is by adding up the distances of all the sides. So we need to find the distance from here to here. Then we find the distance from 8, 2 to this point. And then we find the distance from -4, -3 to this point. And lastly, we find the distance of this side. And once we found the distances of all four sides, we can add those sides up and we will have the perimeter. So boys and girls, we're going to continue on to the next page. So join me and we'll answer questions 2 through 6. Hi boys and girls, we're on number 2 right here. And 2 is asking us, what are the coordinates of the fourth corner of the rectangle? Explain how you found it. So let's go back to that rectangle. Here is the fourth corner. How do we know what the coordinates are? Well, the way that we tell what the coordinates are is by just counting them and seeing where they're at. So if we're going to first find the x coordinate, we need to count up all of these little squares. And so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the x coordinate is going to be 8. Okay, now we need to find the y coordinate. And we're going to start from this axis and count down. And we've got 1, 2, 3. So is that a +3 or a -3? Yes, it's a -3. So our coordinate point is 8, -3. And it's negative because we've gone down from the axis. Okay, so let's write that down. What is the coordinate of the fourth corner? And you can just go ahead and put that point 8, -3. Now, how did we come up with that? It wants us to explain how we found it. Well, what we did is we extended the horizontal line. Let's put we extended. We extended the horizontal line that goes through -4, -3. Then what did we do? The next part is we extended the vertical line that goes through 8, 2. Okay, once we did that, we found the place where those two lines met up. Then we found where the two lines met. Running out of room. They didn't give me enough space there. Okay, let's take a look at number 3. And question number 3 asks us to explain how to find the distance between -4, 2 and 8, 2 using absolute value. So if you look back at our rectangular court, they want to know the distance between -4, 2 and 8, 2. And we can do that using absolute value. So the absolute value of -4 is what, guys? Hope you said 4. Okay. And the absolute value of, which one of these are we going to use? 8. The absolute value of 8 is what? 8. So we've got 4 plus 8. And so the distance between those 2 points is going to be 12. Okay, let's take a look at number 4. And number 4 says, explain how to count the distance between -4, 2 and point -4, -3. So it wants to know the distance between -4, 2, this point, and was it? Yes, -4, -3. It wants to know the distance between those 2 points. How do you do that? By counting, you just count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, because both coordinates have the same x coordinate, you just count the units between the points. All right, moving on to number 5. Describe how to find the perimeter of the athletic court. So, you look back at our athletic court, and as we discussed before, in order to find the perimeter, all you need to know is the distance of each side, and then you add them up. So once we know this distance, this distance, this distance, and this distance, we can simply add them up to find the perimeter. And in order to find those distances, we can either use counting or absolute value. So we use counting or absolute value to find the length of each side. And then once we have found the length of each side, then we sum up the lengths. So then we find the sum of all 4 lengths. Right, we're on our last question, number 5. Explain why it is useful to know how to find distances on coordinate plane, on the coordinate plane, both by counting and by using absolute value. So why do you think we need to know both ways? Well, counting is very effective and very easy and very useful if the points are not very far apart. So I'm just going to put, counting works great. When the points are not far apart. Okay. Absolute value. When's absolute value going to be helpful? Well, if you had a giant coordinate plane and say you had a point of a -147 and you were going all the way to 256, that would be a lot of counting. So when your points are far apart, absolute value is more effective. All right, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and go through the try it problems, number 7 and 8, in your PPS pages. Don't forget, you need to hit the turn in button when you've done all of your math assignments so that I know that you're caught up. Thanks, guys.